Okay. Let's see what we have today. Welcome to another mathematics lesson video. All the grade 11s, grade 12s, you are welcome. Now, this lesson video is specifically going to help you overcome your grade 12 final examination. And in so saying, we are still doing geometric progression. Now, we are still doing we are still looking at geometric progression. Now, today's focus will be on how to find the sum of geometric progression, how to find the sum of GP. So now, this after we understand how to find the sum of GP, therefore now we shall also solve questions based on what we have learned in the previous video, and we shall be done with the sum and the rest of the things. And now we shall filter in to look on sum to infinity. So let's begin. The sum of a geometric progression, GP. How to find the sum of GP? The sum of geometric progression is given by, now these are the formulas that you need to know in order for you to find the sum of geometric progression. Now, the sum is given by sum is equal to first term, open brackets, 1 minus common ratio, and number of terms divided by 1 minus common ratio. Now, this formula is only valid for where the common ratio is less than 1. When the common ratio is less than 1, you can use this formula to find the sum. Okay? But when the common ratio is greater than 1, you cannot use this formula to find the sum. Instead, you are going to use this other formula, which is here, which is sum is equal to first term, common ratio to the power number of terms given minus 1 over common ratio minus 1. So these are the formulas that you use when finding the sum of a geometric progression. So we are simply saying when the sum is less than 1, we use this formula. When the ratio is less than 1, we use this formula. But when the ratio is greater than 1, we use this formula. We shall see how these are workable. Now, where A is the first term, R is the common ratio, N is the number of terms in the progression. So if the number of terms are 5, then it means that you have to put 5. Okay, are we okay so far? Good. Now let's begin by answering this question. Example number 1. Given the geometric progression 4, 8, 16, find the sum of the first 11 terms. Find the sum of what? First 11 terms. That is what they're asking us to do. So we need to find the sum of the first 11 terms. So we are going to say, okay, first 11 terms. The 11 terms, after finding the 11 terms, we need to come and find the geometric mean of 256 and 1024. We need to find the geometric mean. So these are things we looked at how to find the 11th term and geometric term and the mean in the previous videos. So now we have combined them so that we can say done deal with these things. But the major focus is how to find the sum. These others you do by yourself. And this question is a 2019 paper 2 grade 12. 2019 paper 2 grade 12. And how many marks does it carry? 7 marks. As you can see, 3, 2, 2. 7 marks. Imagine paper 2 is out of 100 marks. And this question carries 7 marks. So it's a must, you need to be able to answer this question. And that is the reason why you need to have a calculator. You need to have your own calculator. What kind of a calculator? Casio calculator. Okay. Casio is the best one. I can advise you to use Casio. It's good because it's reliable. It's reliable. So you need to have a calculator in order for you to work out this kind of a question. Because you have big numbers. You can see these big numbers. Find the square root of these big numbers. It's a big one for you to work out. You waste a lot of time and you discover that you only answer one question in grade 12 final examination. So a calculator is very useful. Now let's begin by answering question number 1. Solutions. Okay, solutions. Question number 1. We start with question number Roman numeral 1, which is the sum. We need to find the sum of geometric progression. So before we find the sum, let us write the terms that they have given us. They have given us 4, 8, and 16. Now we need to find the sum. So let us write the formula first for finding the sum. Okay? Before we write the formula, look at this. There are two formulas here because we don't know which formula we need to use here. So the only thing that can make us know which formula we need to use is the common ratio. So we need to find first the common ratio, then we shall know which kind of a formula we are going to use, either this one or this one. Okay? So now let us find the common ratio. And how do we find the common ratio? Common ratio, it is simply found by dividing the term. So let's say this is term 2, this is term 1, term 2, term 3. At least we know to term 3, but there are 11 terms here. So we are going to say term 2 divided by term 1. What is my answer? We have 8 divided by 4. My final answer will be 2. You see that? 2. Now 2 is greater than 1. Hence, the formula that we are going to use, it will not be the first one, but it will be the second one, because 2 is greater than 2 is a common ratio which is greater than 1. So we use this formula instead of that one. So we write the formula that we are going to use. We say sum now, therefore sum is equal to first term, open brackets, common ratio to the power n minus 1 over common ratio minus 1. Because why are we starting with the common ratio? Because common ratio is greater than 1, hence we use that formula. Hence this formula is the one we use. If the common ratio was less than 1, or maybe let's say it was 1 over 2 or 3 or 0.7 or something, then it means we use this formula. But in this scenario, this is the one which is going to be used. This formula is the one which is going to be used. So let's see how we use it. Sum of the 11th term. So they're asking us to find the sum of the 11th term. So we need to have data. Let us have data here. Let us have data so we know what we are doing. Do I know my sum? Okay. The n, do I know my n? Yes, they're saying 11 term. Okay, 11 term. That's what they are telling us. Do I know my first term? Yes, my first term is 4. Do I know my common ratio? My common ratio, yes, it is 2. What else do I need to know? That is all. So I just replace and then calculate. Okay, so I'm going to say sum of the 11th term is equal to, first term is 4, open brackets, 2 to the power 11 minus 1, close brackets, 2 minus 1, okay. Sum of the 11th term is equal to, okay, so now sum of the 11th term, so we simplify the brackets first, so we just leave the 4 outside the brackets and simplify the brackets. 2 to the power 11, 2 to the power 11. You see, if you don't have a calculator, you are going to waste a lot of time. So use the calculator. 2 to the power 11, you have this big number. Okay, we have 2048 minus 1 over 2 minus 1, we only have 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So sum of 11 term is equal to 4 multiplied by, when we subtract by 1, we have 47. 2047. So we multiply that by 1, we multiply by 4, so sum of 11th term is equal to, by 4, we have 8,188. That is the sum of 11th term. So that is how you find the sum of 11th term. The sum of 11th term is 8,188. You see, when you have a calculator, it is quick and easy. But when you don't have it, of course, you have to think. You have to do all means of making sure that you get the answer. Don't waste time, use your calculator in this paper. Okay? So we have found the sum and you are done. And this is 3 marks. So you have your 3 marks done. So this is 3 marks. You get your 3 marks there for free. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question of simplifying the 11th term. Let us find this 11th term. Because we have already found the sum, now we need to find the 11th term. So finding the 11th term, it will be easy because I already know the common ratio. So I just have to multiply 11 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 2, 16. 16 times 2, 32. 32 times 2, just like that. Just like that. Until 11 times, you're going to find the 11th term. Or you can use the formula. Let me erase this data now. Let us use the formula to make things easy. We are trying to find the 11th what? The 11th term. So the 11th term is found by the formula by simply term is equal to A, first term R, n minus 1. That is the formula that we use to find the 11th term. Remember, we learned about that formula, so it's not something new. So that is what we are going to use. So let us find this one now. A simply stands for the 11th term, so I'm going to say 11th term is equal to, what is my my first term? It is 4. What is my first term is 4. What is my ratio? My ratio, it is 2 to the power 11 minus 1. Okay, 11 minus 1. We close the brackets. Therefore, we have 11th term is equal to 4 multiplied by 2 to the power 10. Okay, we have 11 minus 1. We have 11 minus 1. We have what we call, we have 10. Okay, good. So it simply means that this 2 is multiplied 10 times. What is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 10 times? So that's a lot of work if you are going to do that. So you just have to use your calculator by simply saying this is 4 there multiplied by 2 to the power 10. What do we have? We have 1024. So we have multiplied by 1024. Okay, to the power 10. Okay, and therefore now what do we need to do next? The next thing we need to do is to multiply it by 4. Multiply by 4. And then we have the 11th term is equal to 4096. So we say therefore 11th what term is equal to 4096. That is the 11th term. So that is how you find the 11th term. If you want to prove it, you can multiply all this by 11 times, and you are going to multiply 4 times 2 times this times 2 until 11. You have 11 terms. You are going to find that the 11th one is 4096. But the formula is easy. You find it like that. Okay, good. And this is your 2 marks. You have 2 marks there. Good. This is 2 marks. You get it for free. Now let us solve question number 3. Question number 3. Question number 3, we are simply finding the mean in between 25. So we are finding the mean here. The mean, okay, the mean of 256 and 124. That is the mean. Now remember, we learned that in order for you to find the mean, it is simply the square root of the product of that 2. So meaning that I need to find the square root of these 2. So the mean of these 2, I'm just going to say there are 2 terms here. The mean is going to be the square root here. So we have 256 times 124. 256 times 124. 256 times 124. So what do we do now? We multiply that. Now you see these are big numbers. So without a calculator, it won't be easy for you. So 256 multiplied by 124. We have, this is a big number. Now imagine if you don't have a calculator, what would be the square root of this number? 262,144. That is the big number. Now, if you don't have a calculator, how would you find the square root of that one? Of course, you may find it, but it will take a lot of time. So a calculator is very useful. So after you have done this, just say, what is the square root of this same number? It is 512. So we are simply saying that it is 512. That is our mean. Okay, our mean is 512, and this is 2 marks, and we have your 7 marks for free. Have you seen how we have found it? Using a calculator, it is easy to get 7 marks for free. So out of 100, you have already deducted 7 marks. So you see that it's very possible to get 100 marks in your final examination. So all you need to do is to subscribe and like and comment and share the video, so that watch them frequently so that you don't forget the concept. Pause it and copy the notes and the work and put it in your hard notebook, so that you can easily refer to them whenever you need help and so on. And please remember, mathematics is a daily practical practice subject. You need to practice daily. If you don't practice daily, you are going to find it difficult. Okay, I give a scenario of if you are married and you are not giving attention to your wife. Will your wife feel okay? She will not be happy. If you have a girlfriend and now you are not giving attention to your girlfriend or your boyfriend, the boyfriend or girlfriend will not be happy. Same applies with maths. If you are not giving it attention by solving it every day, it will be difficult for you. You will always be complaining mathematics is difficult because you only want to do it once in a while. Once in a while, let me solve a math question. And when you try to solve it, it is difficult. So the secret is practice every day. Solve at least 2-3 questions every day and you'll never get below 90% in your final examination. Trust me, I've tried it and it has worked for me. I'm a living testimony. All right, we end here. The next video will be of finding the sum to infinity. Sum to infinity. Don't miss the next video. So watch out for the next video because it will be interesting. Sum to infinity. It will be of the next video. As for now, we end from here. God bless you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.